every Thursday we feature a professional, right? We want to get to know a bit about their job, why they chose that career path, what they've learned from it, right? And advice for the rest of us who may be curious in following down their step. And today we have a man who's a doctor and a lawyer. I mean, he has his PhD. He's worked on multiple projects, and I can't wait to hear his story and why he chose to be a lawyer. Who do we have?
Dr. Kweku Ainuson. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
It's good to have you here.
It's a pleasure being on your show.
Yeah. So, first of all, just help us to understand the thought process that took you into the law profession. What made you choose it?
So that's a very easy one to answer.
Okay.
I actually went in there because my father said I should do that.
You're kidding?
Yeah.
But didn't you at least want to find your purpose, your path, or you just wanted to obey your dad and that was it?
In fact, that's how it started.
Okay.
Just growing up, it was something that my dad just said, that you're going to be a lawyer. And I just bought into it, and I've been running with it. So that's what I've been doing.
Interesting. So the day in the life of Kweku Ainuson, what does it look like?
Well, I think my day job is that I'm a teacher. Yes.
Okay. Interesting.
So I teach at the University of Ghana School of Law.
Okay.
So, a typical day, if I have a class, I just show up in class, I teach, I speak to my students, I do my research. There are some days that I may have to be in court, and if I have to do that, I get up, I prepare, and I'm in court.
Okay. What drives you, actually?
Well, even though it was something that, my father had said that you should do, I've actually grown to love it, and I keep on telling everyone that I know that I love what I do, and that is what drives me. So it's something that I think about every day. That is what consumes my time, and I get up and I do what I have to do.
Some people say the legal profession is murky. What's your experience?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that a lot of misconceptions, actually. And for a lot of people, they think that the profession of law is just, the advocacy bit of it, where people go to court, and represent, client. But there's more to it, than that. I mean, there's so many things that a lawyer can do. Of course, we live in a society and we are governed by laws. And so if you have laws, then you have to have some professionals that will interpret, that law. So, lawyers do so many things. And if you're an academic, there's nothing murky about what we do. We teach students about the law, essentially. So nothing murky about it, as it were. And if you are a legal advisor, for instance, in a company, nothing really murky about it. You are actually, guiding, and helping management to discharge, their duty. So there's nothing about that. But I think for the most part, what some people consider to be murky will be when you are representing maybe, some, client in court that in the eyes of the public, may have done something wrong. So we have lawyers that defend, people that are serial killers, okay? Well, I would say that, alleged, serial killers, yes. And people that allege armed robbers and all that. And as a matter of fact, it is their work, to do that. In fact, we live in an organized society, and we've told ourselves that everyone, is innocent until proven guilty. So it's your constitutional right, to be represented, by a lawyer. And sometimes when you are representing such people, it is not about necessarily winning, as in getting them, to be acquitted and discharged and all that. It may be, just by way of, maybe a reduction in sentence, for instance. The law itself affords such people some defenses, okay? So it may be that this person may have gone in there, by virtue of some other compulsion from a third party and all that. That will go to mitigate whatever sentence that person is going to get. And you need a lawyer to be able to advocate, for such a person. So, the lawyer will just be doing his work, actually.
Wow. Okay. Now, not only did you decide to become a lawyer, you also went on to pursue a PhD. Why?
In fact, I will say that is all the power of a praying, parent.
Okay.
Like I said, I am who I am because of my father and then my mother. And I give my father, Mr. Kweku Ainuson, a shout out, and my mother, Mrs. Matilda Ainuson, also a shout out. And I mean, they were both civil servants, and I think that they knew very well the importance of education. And as I indicated, we're actually 4 siblings, and I mean, as far back as I can remember, my father and my mother just said that, this is what you're going to do, right? So I actually just, grew up thinking about that. I grew to like it, as well. And when I finished my law degree, in Ghana, I got called to the bar, and my dad told me that, look, I just want you to do a master's degree, and you can start working, and I'll pay for it. That's what it is. So I just went ahead, and started a master's degree at the University of Georgia. And when I was over there, it was just through, providence, I would say, that I did some, small research work, for a professor who had indicated, I think you are, PhD material, and you should go ahead and do that. So I had not thought about that, When I was, going abroad for school, I just said I was just going for a year for a master's and I'll come back. That's what I was going to do. But I discussed that opportunity with my dad, and he just told me that don't come back, until you are done, with a PhD. So I enrolled, at Clemson University in South Carolina, and the rest is history.
Okay. Yeah. So the pursuit of the PhD, what was your master's in?
So I did master's in maritime law.
Maritime law.
Yes.
So feathering in law.
Feathering in law. Yes.
What about a PhD?
Well, it was in natural resources, law and policy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let me ask the question, because you keep saying that you fell in love with law.
Yes.
Does passion come before, in pursuit of your career? Which should come first? The choice to do it, or the passion that is like, I love this, therefore I'm going to do it, or I'm going to do it anyway because I've been told to, and then hopefully I'll love it?
I think passion should drive it.
Okay.
I'll be honest, passion. I mean, I think for me, I was just lucky that this is what I was told to do, and my passion followed it as well.
Yeah.
But I think passion should drive everything, because I tell myself that, look, you don't have to be a lawyer, you don't have to be a doctor, you don't have to be an engineer to succeed, in life. And I think all of us, growing up have been socialized into thinking that these are the kind of professions that you have to be in.
That will bring success.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think society is changing, fast changing. And these days, I mean, I dare say that the people that are rich that I know are not lawyers. They are not engineers. They are not doctors, I'll be honest.
Yeah.
These are people that are passionate at what they do. Some of them are business people.
Yeah.
Some of them actually do not have the kind of education that I have, as it were. So I think that passion, should be one. If you are passionate about something, that is what gets you up in the morning and gets you going. And look, my kids, I have 2 kids actually, and both of them tell me that, look, they don't want to be lawyers, essentially. And it's because they tell me that, Daddy, I don't want to be, reading, the way that you're always reading.
Okay.
I don't want to be, in fact, they say, I don't want to be learning, all the time. Yeah. Yes. And if you're a lawyer, that's what you have to be doing, right? I mean, the laws are very dynamic, right? And we are in a common law country, where judge-made law is also very, very important. The court are sitting every day. There are decisions coming out every day, and you have to be abreast with all these decisions. So if you do not have the passion, there's absolutely no way you'll be able to do that.
Yeah.
Right? So you need to have the passion to be able to do it. I have a colleague of mine, we both went to Fanspin School. He's an artist.
Okay.
He went to Tech. I am not too sure what he did at Tech, but he's an artist. And look, for the life of me, this guy draws and draws really, really well. And today, if I want a portrait to be done, by Michael Kwashi, I probably will have to wait, a couple of months.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Because he's good at what he does.
Okay.
Essentially.
There's a waiting list now.
Absolutely. That's what it is. So I think passion is very, very important. Once you are passionate about it, I think you'll be able to do very well in whatever it is that you choose to do. Yeah.
Okay. Now, if you could talk to the 12, 14-year-old version of you about law and this path that you're on now, what would you tell him?
Well, I will say that, look, if you want to choose a career in law, I think it's a very good one. It's very noble. As a matter of fact, you get up and you are helping other people. You are carrying the problems, of others. So It's noble, it's good, to do that. But it is not, as flashy, as some people want to portray it, okay? And in as much as it is rewarding, right, it is not a, get rich overnight, kind of, profession. It takes a lot of hard work, to be able to do that. And so I would say that, look, you should be prepared, to a lifetime, of learning. That's what it is. And that is not to also say that it is difficult, it's intimidating, not at all. I mean, anything that you put your mind to it, why not? You can accomplish it.
Yeah. Have you ever defended someone that you knew was guilty? Yes, I've done that. I've done that. Tell us about the emotional side of the experience.
Yeah. Well, it is always not an easy, task. But as I indicated to you, look, when you are defending, such a person, the law, affords people like that some defenses as well. So you see, you cannot, no matter how good you are as a lawyer, when something is black, you cannot make it white, and when it's white, you cannot make it black. It's as simple as that. So, as I indicated, that you look at the defenses that are afforded, such a person. So somebody may have committed an offense, right? The judge is given a discretion in terms of the sentence that can be given. So there's a minimum and there's a maximum. So the judge has a discretion to say, should I give 3 months? Should I give 1 year? And all that. And so there are estimating circumstances that will play on the mind of the judge. So although you may not succeed in getting the person to be acquitted and discharged, your work may get this person 4 months as opposed to 1 year or 2 years. And in such circumstances, just a reduced sentence in and of itself, can be seen, as a success, for the person. Yeah.
What's your experience like as a teacher? What do you enjoy most about it?
As a matter of fact, it's the aspect of the law that I love the most. Okay? And I tell my students that the pleasure of it is, when after they've come to me, and after 4 years, you see them in the court. And then when they are in school, they call you sir. But when you see them in court, they call you senior, or they call you learned friend. And to me, that is what really makes me very happy. That I tell myself that I've been a part of the success of someone.
Work, social life, family life balance. How do you do it?
It's a very, very difficult one, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I don't remember the last time that I went to bed, before midnight.
Wow.
Yes. And I'm always leaving my office after 7 p.m. Yes. So it's a very difficult one. I'm happy to have a very loving wife who understands. In fact, she's a lawyer herself. Right? We were classmates.
Wow.
So
that's good.
In undergrad or?
Well, right from my University of Ghana. So I got a law degree and a wife as well.
Aww.
Yeah.
Nice.
So she understands.
Should be donating to University of Ghana.
Yes, I think I should be doing that. But I think I had a client that came to me a couple of years ago. He was about 80 years old. And he said that, let me give you an advice. When you are old, like me, the one thing that you'll regret is that you never spent enough time with the people that matter the most, and that's your family, right? And it got me thinking, okay? And I've been making, very important changes, in my schedule, okay? I make sure that I drop my kids off in the morning, no matter how busy I am, and that, the traffic in Accra, so that 1 hour drive, to school is some quality time that we spend, together. I try very hard to make sure I'm home in the evening, to tuck them into bed, And Saturdays I don't go anywhere. I sit at home, with them. So it's very difficult to be good at what you do professionally, right? And then also, be a good, family man or family, person. So it's a difficult, situation. You need to be able to juggle, all of them. I keep on saying that these are different constituents that, one has, and all of them are making their demands, on you. And if you let one take all the time, the other one will suffer. So it's a delicate, balance, and we are learning every day to be able to do that.
Okay, so let me ask you about just if you could talk to the young people out there, because we're in a generation where everybody's trying to follow their passion. And you hear someone in university say, my dad wants me to be a doctor, but I want to sell wigs. I want to be an entrepreneur, right? People are just rebelling against what their parents want them to do as if it's either or. What advice would you give them?
Well, in as much as I think you have to follow passion, right, you also have to be smart about how you follow your passion. Let me say that, you know, the Ghana that I grew up in is quite different, you know, from the Ghana that we have today.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I do not think that my, you know, when I was growing up, I mean, the kind of things that people do today, I mean, people in the technology business, in the field, they know that they're making lots of money, they're doing well, wigs, I mean, and all that, you know, it was different then, okay? So I tell myself that you have to be wise in what you do, right? First and foremost, you need money, right, to be able to survive, you know, as an individual, right? It gets to a time where if we're a lady, you have to be thinking about, you know, family. If you're a man, the same, you know, as well. So if it is a passion that you're following, and it's a passion that you cannot monetize right away, then you need to be thinking about that. So I know people that have gone to do things that they don't really like, right, to be able to raise some money, to be able to get some experience, to then transition into where they have their passion, you know. And so, I mean, the fingers are all not the same. Some people have, you know, very good homes. Their parents are doing very well. They can support them to follow their passion. When we were in school, there are some people that, look, every vacation they have to go to hometown, okay, go and do some weeding here and there and raise some money. Today they are doing very well and all that. There are some other people that never had to, you know, think about anything. They get their school fees paid, you know, and all that. So if you are someone who hasn't got that support, right, and you say you're going to follow your passion, then you need to think about, what is the passion that I have? What will it take, you know, to accomplish that? If I don't have the support, maybe I have to get a day job. Maybe I have to get something that I may not necessarily like, but that is what is going to put food on my table, get me to save, and be able to have money, you know, to follow your passion. So that's what I'll say.
As an instructor within the legal profession, I wanted to help us to understand the place of the lawyer vis-a-vis the place of the judge, because you all study law.
Yes.
You know, and so where does one transition to the judge? Is there a natural progression, or is it something that is like a Y junction, you know, that it splits at a point? Help us to understand.
Well, judges are lawyers as well. I mean, all of us are lawyers, okay? We work, you know, together, you know, all the time. And our constitution determines, you know, who should be, you know, a lawyer, at least for the superior court, right? So if you are a high court judge, for instance, then the minimum, you know, qualification is that you must have been a lawyer called to the Ghana bar for at least 10 years. Then you qualify. That's the minimum qualification to be a high court judge, and you must have been a lawyer for at least 12 years. Minimum qualification to be a court of appeal judge, and then you must have been a lawyer for at least 15 years. Minimum qualification, you know, to be a Supreme Court judge. So you have to be a lawyer first, and then the other qualifications will come in, you know, to make you, you know, a judge.
What are some of the other qualifications? Because it seems to me that 12 years, 15 years, and so on, those are just experience, like building experience. What are some of the other qualifications that you need?
Obviously, one of our, you know, high moral repute, okay, must be very learned in the law, you know, as well. I mean, we practice an adversarial system where, you know, the judge, we say, will not descend into the arena of conflict. So the judge sits, you know, as an independent arbiter of some sort, and there are two parties that are advocating, you know, different issues. And the judge will have to look at, you know, both sides and will have to make a decision. And there are instances where both parties may be wrong, you know, and the judge will be charting, you know, if you will, the right way. There are instances where both parties will have, you know, part of it, and the judge will have to make, you know, the final decision. So a judge must be, you know, apart from the experience, must also be learned, you know, and must be good, you know, with respect, you know, to the law. But I say that we all find ourselves in the same profession, okay? Is one of our mutual respect, you know, for one another. The lawyers, the advocates cannot do their work without the lawyers. The judges cannot do same, you know, without the lawyers as well. So all said and done, we are all lawyers. First, yes.
What's your definition of success?
Well, success. I think success is when you get to a point, where you tell yourself that, look, I'm happy, with what I do. You have some joy, in your heart, and I think that is success for me. I don't see success as being, money, material things and all that. Even though sometimes that helps you, to be happy and to have some joy and all that. But I mean, personally, there are things that I tell myself, I want to get this, and when I get this, I'm going to be, really happy about it. I get it, and I realize that, okay, so is that it? Nothing else. So, the material things are kind of, mundane. At the end of the day, they don't, help much. But if you, wake up in the morning and you are happy to go to work and you're happy to go home, I think you are very successful.
Was there ever a time where you doubted the path you were on or failed miserably?
Many times.
Okay.
Many times. And let me say that right from school. In fact, the very first day that I told myself that, I don't think that I'm where I have to be, was my very first law class at the University of Ghana. Okay? Oh, yes. I mean, then I was just 18 years old, coming right out of infant school, okay? Leaving home for the first time all by myself, and all that. You get to law of contract class. They give you, a dozen cases to go and read. You go to the library. You look at these cases. You start reading them, and they just do not make any sense whatsoever. And I told myself that, you know what, I don't think that I'm where I have to be. But let me say that our teachers, they've done a very good work, on all of us. They've inspired. So there are some people that, will put the fear of God in you. So you sit, and then you learn. And there are some also that, showed you the allure, of the law, as well. And that, motivated and inspired you as well. So, I mean, there have been instances where you tell yourself that, look, am I really where, I want to be? Right? And professionally, it has happened, a lot of times. You go to court and sometimes you lose a matter, and it gets to you. In as much as you try very hard, to be personally removed, from these matters, there are instances where it really gets to you. And at those times, you question whether, did I do well? Was I good enough? Okay, should I even be here? In the first place. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Doc.
Yes, thank you very much, Dr. Kweku Ainuson. It's been a wonderful, insightful conversation. Well, maybe one day we'll be talking about Justice Kweku Ainuson.
That's the path he wants to go on. But we hope you guys learned something, right? So if you are a student at home or you're just thinking about the path you want to go on, it's okay to start out not necessarily loving what you do, and then you grow to love it and then venture into other things that might lead you where you want to be in the end. This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV. My name is Dziffa, Ametam.
And I'm David Kweku Sakyi.
Hi there. We hope you enjoyed the show.
Make sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share with your friends.
This is Breakfast Daily on Citi TV.
Join the Breakfast Daily team Monday through Fridays from 7:30 a.m. to 10. Join us for breakfast daily, only on Citi TV.